Maybe. The music stopped. That's always a good sign. Is that Mr. McGilded's peculiar music box council? Yes, with the disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we just discovered set in place as well. Goodness, this disc, Council? No, wait, I can't let you do that. Why not? Because it's got nothing to do with this case, that's why. Although then you don't mind if we just waste our time. Not true, Inspector, eh? The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box are part of a Morse code message. I called it! Yes! See, again, this is one of those moments I was talking about where you have to bluff to make the game move forward, and you need to know what bluff to make. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory. For crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason. Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in an unlawful deal with the witness? You're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the British Empire government, you idiot. Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine. Don't you dare. I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. Oh, I bet that struck a chord with Van Zykes, because he's pretty much the same. He's like, My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sound made by that box. Oh, come on, Van Zykes, for Pete's sake, stop him. Objection. Oh shit, the foot is up on the counter now. Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I am a prosecutor, not a Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law, so let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth, by fair means or foul. No! Very well, the defense's stance here is that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's requests, the court will now listen to the music box that is set in operation once more. Oh yeah, that camera angle. This time with a second disc in place, and both discs playing simultaneously. Gregson looks like he's about to shit a square brick. I love it. Poor fish and chips chap. They did go everywhere. It's unmistakable. It is Morse code now. Alright, I admit it. Whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut the blooming box up. Well. Hey, Urinty! How's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon? Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector? I did. Stop! What are you doing, man? Fucking you over! It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumes after the recess, and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal. Shut up, you imbecile. Shut up! Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon be very public indeed. Oh. Positive news, I just had a wonderful job interview with a new company here. It was 2 hours talking directly with the CEO. Dude, awesome. I am so happy to hear that. Congratulations. I hope it all goes well for you. You know, good luck. Hope you get the job. It's always good when you get an interview where you had a good feeling about it. I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances, so I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. Wow. The peephole in the storeroom door, the bloodstains on the overcoat. So the overcoat bloodstains were also the other thing we could have picked, I guess, because he shouldn't have known about those either. But then again, he did put the coat on briefly, so he might have felt the dried blood. By giving false testimony, the witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate a witness's perjury. You're a bloody disgrace is what you are, mate. I did. But then it turned out that the peephole had only been made that night after the incident took place, so it all started to unravel. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime, namely this. You were the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Winderbank. You. Oh! Fucking hell. Traitor! Oh shit, son! Did he just break his neck? Bailiff, restrain that man at once! Did he just kill Gregson? Holy shit. Whoa. Oh. Will be a long process in December to January, but worth it. And you could say I pulled some strings to have a direct meeting and skip all the weeding. Nice. All the pre-selection, yeah. Well, good. Hey, you know, like I said, good luck. I hope it all works out for you, and you get what you get the job and everything. That sounds awesome, you know. So that's it then. It's all over. Graydon killed everyone in the courtroom. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. Oh, here comes the pity party. Oh. So I set about studying to better myself. Oh, okay, well, good for you, I guess. To one day escape that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination, until you turned it into traitorism. But then you decided to try to sell government secrets. That is a lot of dots, yeah. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours of the morning. I want to drown them out, with more money than anyone who ever lived in that squalor could imagine. And one day, I met him. Magnus McGilded. Knew that was coming. You're a fiend with a queer talent. So you are. I've money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need do is go along with my little plan now. So he was the one behind it all, I guess. I was to steal the Ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the Ministry's communication office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crimes you were committing. And for that reason I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right, he was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. Ah, so that's how they made the boxes. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him. Never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help. He wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made. Music box discs, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I've brought a score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch me my tools, would you? They're in the loft. You have udon today. Ooh, yummy. That's how I made the two discs. Thereby splitting the information in two, you were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. Plus they can get more data on there, because between the dashes and dots, that means that half of the music box's combs would have probably needed to have been the dash tone and then one the dot tone. So they wouldn't have been able to put as many dots on one disc anyway to have them play at the same time. So, having two playing at once, synchronized, you get more information on them. Double density, basically. It's like those double density floppy disks. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then on receipt of a second disc he would pay me 1,000 guineas. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? That was the second part of the deal, the exchange of a second disc. Yes, that's it. The 1.4 megabyte glorious floppy disks, dude. Yeah. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already, but it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it that on that omnibus 2 months ago your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded and not yourself? When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed the deal with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time he worked out I must be involved in something dubious. When he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise I won't take your money anymore." That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, take the money from McGilded, that's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him and he never returned home. was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge. Did he burn the omnibus with McGilded inside of it? Oh, revenge? As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. The trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything in his favour in his courtroom to ensure that he'd walk free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. Wow. So now he's confessing to a second murder. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day, it was caused by this man. He was the copper, I bet. Or, at the very least, the copper was someone he hired. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me to the courtroom. What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. Smoke signals more like, but okay. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again. That's right, an imposter hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened the witnesses to lie in their testimonies. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused with paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. Cue the AC/DC. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes. I should think it's obvious, the second disc which my father had taken in exchange with McGilded. Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago, clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remember something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. Now you have that song in your head? Heck yeah. Good song, though. This is the first of the 2 discs, and then the music box you need to play them. Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. Well, what's this? Winterbank's Pawnbrokery. Aye, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for you. There's no need to give it a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I've put a jewel in pawn for you, so it'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. I've never heard of a pawnbroker used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. Which is exactly how Sholmes described it. Dot. All the dots. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in the pawnbrokery somewhere. And that's on the night he killed my father. He must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now. That's when we first met you at Winterbanks that afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of MacGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork in the redemption deadline. And he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Winterbanks to redeem the articles, but unfortunately she redeemed only MacGilded's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing, because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursions. Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that MacGilded was involved. Inspector, you've recovered fast. How's that broken neck? All good? Nice. My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, so we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc was still in the shop somewhere, so I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. That's what prompted you to break into the place at the same night. And with the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box and I'd sold to MacGilded on the shelves of the forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes. I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief, but then something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? Bang. So that did happen as we expected. The gun went off and struck him in the arm. A gunshot rang out in the shop and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker had fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I'd decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door to refuge. A sorry, sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash, or Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Winterbanks on that wretched night. Okay, good. Can we take this guy to the gallows now and just get him hanged already? Because, well. More dots. So about that scale, can we get it moved? Because it's wrong. Earlier you called MacGilded a monster, a man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. So what you have done is exactly the same. You've become what you hate. Yes, you've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have. While this has been a long and exhausting trial, however, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Windybank and the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably you will have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course. It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you are doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable. Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Yeah? It's time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir. Garradeb Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decision to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yes.
Not guilty.
Yes.
Not guilty.
Yes.
Not guilty.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
Yeah. Russian Gajovich's friend. Boom. Ha! That's the stuff. I'm off the hook. Finally, Runo, you finally managed to do it. Finally. What are you trying to say? I was working as hard as I could. Finally is the word, though. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world. Oh dear. Miss Lestrade, I'm not finished with you yet. Eh? What? What are you looking at me like that for? Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. Oh god, the perjury from the McGilded case. And the fact that she did actually, you know, break into Windybanks originally and threaten the guy at gunpoint. 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in retaliation, in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windybank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilded's property, it seems. Hey? I never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilded's coat in your cellar yesterday or anything. Oh, and just when I thought it was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening. And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Yeah, I did that, didn't I? Very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get the inspector to admit what he'd done, so if I may say something on that point, is that it's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact. She sees it like the Matrix in the same movie, you know, in the movie of that name. It's like when Neo can see the Matrix. That's what she sees, but it's Morse code instead. Goodness, madam, an unhealthy level of obsession one feels. But I must say that in my opinion, the sound produced by those two discs were nothing more than that, a meaningless series of two different tones. What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all. It could be a different type of code. It could be encoded code that then becomes Morse code after you decode it. Or Graydon was selling... he wasn't actually selling secrets. He was faking it. It was a scam! Nice. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, Sunshine? This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. It's really going to bother me. I'm going to be up all night thinking about this. Miss Lestrade. Yeah, my lord. That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child. Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums. I beg your pardon? If you're weak, you pay for it. That's how life goes. Gina? But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself. Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. He's gonna let her off? Nice. But look, just go. I mean, McGilded was an arsehole and he's dead now anyway, so what difference does it make? Let's just let you go. Now, with regards to the murder of Mr. Pop Winderbank, proprietor of the pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty! Woo! Jeez. Oh god, no, put the smoke gun down! Oh, it's a firework now. What? Cool. Again, fireworks at the Old Bailey, that's just how they do things. That is all. Court is adjourned. And yet we're still here, staring each other down across the courtroom. Like, no, you leave first. No, you leave first. No, I insist, you leave first. On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. But, well, I'm the main character in the game, of course she had to be innocent. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings living in an empire. I mean, we're not so very different on the inside. So maybe don't be such a racist, Van Zykes. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me. of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. Wait, he knew a Japanese dude? You mentioned something similar earlier today about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask. And one day when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright. I'll wait for that day if I must. Guys, I'm gonna call it now. I think the person that he was betrayed by was Prosecutor Ouchie. The tutorial lawyer. Yeah, Mr. Payne, aka Ouchie. It's him. He betrayed him. I'm calling it now. Or probably more likely it was Professor Mikotoba. I bet it's going to come round to it being Professor Mikotoba, because he's the only other really important Japanese person we know in the game so far. Or they're going to introduce a new character, who knows? Well, I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming to be known of the Reaper of the Bailey and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. Dude, you must go through so much glassware. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. I want to know where he buys his glasses, and I want to buy stock. Because... damn. That's a guaranteed market right there. It's done. It's over at last. But... where's Iris disappeared to? Ah! Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Nara Odo. You believed in me right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? Naruhodo. It's easy. I mean, I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean, properly. That's awful. I've figured something out today. All my life growing up in the slums, I never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. Yeah, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of that in the trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone, and I paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. When your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, your trust is rewarded, and there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. Well, for crying out loud, pack it in. But, I suppose, I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. It's Kiryu, I mean, it's Asogi. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean, Kazuma. Am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? But I don't know, I'm dead, I can't answer that. Pardon the interruption. Oh, fuck off, Sholmes. Get out of here. But what the deuce does the man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? That voice! It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when finally you noticed me. You people with your incessant babbling. Mr. Sholmes. Yes, it was me all along, you see. Jesus, this guy. I had assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. I don't think that's how hospital works, but okay, you're not supposed to escape it. Oh. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. How very above board of you. Do you happen to have a scalpel stitched about your person? Because you should check. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. So, congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you. Oh, thank you. Huh. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? While you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed, some of us have been fighting for our lives. Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. Could I take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes? And in some way, I suppose congratulations are in order to you too, Miss Lestrade? What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Well, naturally, it's my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in a trial with a particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Oh, that's right, yeah. The Reaper of the Bailey. We don't know what happened to, I've forgotten the name now, but the poet guy. The Japanese version of Edgar Allan Poe with the haikus instead. But yeah, the last guy we defended, he went straight back to Japan. But apparently every time people get acquitted by whatever, you know, trial Lord Zykes is holding, they tend to die in accidents later. It's like he's cursed. Well done, Mr. Sholmes, not alarming in the slightest. Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyways, is that it? The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. No, but you just want other people to believe it. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs, you mean? Like God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some coves like that bog trotter what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve. Eventually, maybe. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, it ain't like the McGildards of this world. Well, I ain't like the McGildards of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see? Which principles were you exercising when you broke into Winterbank's pawnbrokery and held a gun to the guy? A trait in which you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oh, just give it a rest, all right? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well, there you are, Hurley! How long have you been here? It was him all along, Iris! Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there. Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. What happened? As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these adults didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it? I'm not sure, really. I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day. I'll be careful. Ouch. Anyway, it's such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm going to be going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently, all them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter's stuff, what was in lug, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offence. But diving ain't an offence. It's a job, innit? I don't think so. No. Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket either. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something else all of them look like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them. That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. I'm sure you can do it. Yeah. What is it? Oh, here come the waterworks again. Nothing. Miss Gina Lestrade. The prison carriage has arrived, madam. Come with me to the rear gate at once. Oh, Ginny. Right, well, looks like I'm off then. Yeah, goodbye, Gina, and good luck. Odo? Yes? Oh shit. Oh shit, she's gonna shoot. Oof! Ow! What was that for? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so... So you shoot me with a smoke grenade. Nice. Lovely. That's the thanks I get, is it? Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Like, thank you. On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh. Oh yes, it's good advice, Ginny. He's like, well, shit. Right, I see. Well, oh god, here we go. That... Thanks, Odo. Aww. Oh. Thank you for everything what you've done, for believing in me. No, not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Oh, how precious. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, well, quite the indomitable pick purse. Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition and there's trials all over the front of page. Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't that wonderful? You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled. Oh no, how silly of me. Ah, but anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news? Oh god, not again. Well, what do you say, Runo, Hurley? As usual, I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. Well, cover your ears then, man. And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it? But let's not go there. Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently. Well, yay. Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, so what's the bad news? The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailing out of Dover has been delayed by a day or more. Wait, Dover? That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off. That sounds like good news! But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Sholmes? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole. Hey, Your Honor! The JoJo pose, yes. How's it going, Your Honor? Nice to see you. I don't. The great detective does it again. Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles. What? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary. Blackmail the dude for a train, seriously. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way. That's how you make enemies. What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria! So Susato's boat never left. She's been sat there all this time. She could have come to the trial. That took somewhat longer than I'd anticipated. Susie's boat must be about to leave now. Miss Susato, where are you? She's on the boat, dude. No, she's there! What the hell? Get on the boat! Look, over there. It looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Miss Susato, wait, what are you doing? I'm fine, how are you, Wolfie Butt? I'm good, thank you very much. Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here? We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailing had been delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted. That's wonderful. Really wonderful news. I thought she just disappeared from the pier and would say that she's a ghost. Yeah. So the book you were about to throw into the sea, it was your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it? Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. You were standing under a lamp, I saw everything. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell. You were saying goodbye to the law? You, Susato-san? Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the peephole, Miss Susato? I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, that's right, and she was scarily good at it. That was so much fun. I stole Runo's armband. Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages. On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Really? And then I rather forgot about it. How do you forget about a contraption of that size and weight? Even in those sleeves, voluminous as they are. Oh my god. I found myself in Mr. Winterbank's shop with it later that night. I see. And then... then Sholmes gets shot. Mr. Sholmes! Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. Right. Pretty sure she's Tsundere. She specially did it so you can see it for your attention. Oh my god. After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind. The storeroom door, you mean? Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind the door. And at that moment, the little device I had in my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know. So you used the cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door. As captured in a photographic print of the shop by one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. Indeed, it was one of the first. It was of the first importance, that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. When I looked through the peephole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remember the trial 2 months earlier. The trial of Magnus MacGilded. I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank, even though I was sure she would have never done such a thing. So you were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime? That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case. What do you mean? Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door. Ah. For which, a peephole would be the very thing, and she'd just provided somebody with the means. Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course, and the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? A trap? That why she did it? So is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you'd made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know, and I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong, a criminal offence even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the peephole could save him. That was my plan. He really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she'd done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Ah. She's making peepholes, creepy girl. Yes. Although it's more like this is the thing, they keep calling it a peephole, but it's a cat flap almost. It's like the size of a cat flap. It's a big window that you lift out of the door. It's not so much for peeping as it is for looking. You know, so they keep calling it a peephole, but to me I feel it's more like an actual little window. You could have been disbarred had you been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crime scene. So Miss Susato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Not peeping, but creepy staring. Yes, that's exactly what it's for. Creepy staring window. Miss Susato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law. Oh. I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime, but the moment I allowed myself to think that, it's the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant. What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Susato, what you did, it saved Gina's life. BRB gonna make a staring hole in the bathroom. Oh no. Ooh. Wait, whose bathroom? Oh dear. Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too from my regrets. Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured. Well, she's still got to stand trial for the perjury and a bunch of other stuff, but yeah. Your own. Okay, good, just checking. I thought I heard a noise down the hallway for a moment. I'm a bit worried. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure. The revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. Oh, it wasn't? There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator. She said the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in a cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. A cipher? I see. I mean, it's mine now. Oh. So then, we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway? Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. More dots. A... Sogi? What? Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny. Wait. Iris, what did you just say? Wait, is she translating the message in her head? Like she's playing it back in her head and translating it, and it's just said Asogi, as in Kazuma Asogi? Ooh. What did you just say? Oh, I just said Asogi. Does that word mean something to you? Mean something? Asogi was the name of my best friend. What? But how? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before when the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly. She's a genius. I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just don't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. So the message is in Japanese? It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to the Morse code to use it for their own languages. Yes, because not every country uses the same alphabet. I don't believe it. Are you saying... That's right. I've only actually seen the chart of a Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the Iroha pangram, isn't it? You mean to say that in Japanese Morse code the message says Asogi? Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Miss Susato, do you know it? Do you know the Japanese Morse code, or is it in your fantastic book of everything that you have up your sleeve? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version. Wow. Be that as it may, Iris showed me the message, please. Wait, she doesn't have... or what doesn't she have in her sleeve? Yeah, that's it. There's just shit up there. It's everything is up that sleeve. Of course, I would never play cards with Susato, let's put it that way. There it is. The book is out again. But what can this possibly mean? Whatever is in the long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the colour drain from Susato's face. Because he had something he was supposed to do when he came over here. And Lord Strongheart keeps on referring to the fact that we're here to, you know, facilitate that. But we keep thinking, well, Naruhodo keeps thinking that is be a lawyer, you know. But there was a task he had to do while he was here. There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code. So the British Empire has been using Japanese for the secret communications. I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. 4 names. The first is K. Asogi. Kazuma Asogi. Why? Why is his name on that disc? Second is A. Shin. A shin? Like, as in the one on my leg? Shin? I don't recognize that name. The third is T. Greguson? That Gregson. Oh, of course. Yeah, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the list. What is his name doing on a secret government communication as well? The last name... What's the matter, Miss Susato? Is it yours? It's so strange, so unexpected. What is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense. Or her father, maybe? The last name is J. Wilson. Ooh. Dr. John Wilson, Iris's father. What? Wilson? John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? It only says J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then after the 4 names it reads, if I translate from the Japanese, that is all 4. That is the end of the message, or rather the end of what you noted down, Iris. I just can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contain Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names. It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. So, Daddy could be in Japan then? Well, he is, but 6 feet under, probably. That's where Susie and Runo come from. Well... no, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be a lot of J's among them. Yeah, it's coincidental! Oh... Professor John H. Wilson, the visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yumei University. But we can't tell Iris about that now, we just can't. So for people that missed the beginning of the game, Ryu, our main character, was on trial for the murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. He was a visiting professor, as we've just heard, at the university where he studies. And he was there on behalf of Susato's father, Professor Mikotoba. He'd invited him over. Also, this guy is Herlock Sholmes' old partner, before Iris took over the role and started writing all the adventures up, using her father's notes. So, because he's basically Watson, not instead of Wilson. So yeah, he's dead, and Ryu was accused of killing him, but it turned out to be this English woman that Dr. Wilson was having tea with in this tea house. And she framed it all, you know, that it was us that did it and there was falsified evidence. And eventually we defended ourselves in court with Kazuma acting as our assistant, and then won and pointed out that it was actually this lady that shot him instead, and how she got up. Well, no, she didn't shoot him. We were accused of shooting him, and I think she did shoot him. Yeah, to cover it up, and also she planted a gun to make it look like we'd done it, but she poisoned him. That's how he was really dead. He died from a poison. Partner, like sexual? Hey, maybe. I don't know. I don't judge. But no, it was like, it's like the Watson Sherlock dynamic. You know, they were like investigative partners. So, yeah, anyway, he's dead. Ryu was accused of the murder. We won the case and proved that it was this British lady, and then she was sent home to England, where she would then further face punishment. And we never saw anything of her again. Like, she was extradited back to England for her crime, which wasn't very satisfying. And then Kazuma was supposed to come to England to study like law, and he snuck Ryu onto the ship with him in his luggage, stowed him away, you know, to bring with him, you know, like, look, you do well over here as well, so you come with me. So that's what we did, and then he died on the trip over. So now it seems like things are starting to line up. If his name and Wilson's name, and they're both dead, are on that list, we don't know who this Shin guy is, but if Gregson is on it as well, there must be some big connection between all of them. Like, there must have been something that was going on that somebody's trying to prevent. So that's interesting. This is so strange. Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Winterbank's murder today, I feel that I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside. Bonk. There's a giant goose over there. Or maybe it was the ship. Oh dear. The ship is going to set sail soon. Yes, it seems so. I'll sail on that steamship for to the first port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a large passenger vessel bound for Japan. We love exploring deep caves, oh yes. You're really going then, Susie? We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato. Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best. Miss Susato, I'd hoped to have always had you at my side to guide me and support me. Mr. Naruhodo, please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. Aww. I'm quite sure. I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now, don't forget, Iris, I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript? Ah, oh, that's right. She knows the name. The Hound of the Baskervilles. And, like, we knew that Iris had a manuscript in the pawn shop, like Herlock put it there. But she hadn't mentioned the name of it, and then Susato said it was about the Hound of the Baskervilles manuscript or something or other, and it was like, how do you know the name? Oh, well, you must have told me it. But then she's like, look, okay, I knew it. I'll explain why I know the name when the time is right. Maybe she knows the name because she might have, because her father brought Iris's father to Japan anyway. He invited him to the university. It's her father that invited him. So she must have spent some time with Dr. Wilson as well. Maybe he mentioned it to her. Maybe he knew something about it anyway, because it was actually his case with Sholmes and not Iris. Iris doesn't go on the cases with Sholmes. He's on his own now, you know, but she writes about it afterwards and puts it in the magazines. So yeah, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. You'd ship that. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Do you remember the first time we met? Yes, of course. On the SS Burrier when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown. You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy. Miss Susato. The Susato takedown, dude. She puts him on his back. Very hard. He's a bit rough. And my instincts were right. I really want to believe, no, I'm sure that. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then. Oh, you like that, huh? Time for an anime cutscene.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Is that the Titanic? God, I hope not. She's on the wrong boat if she is.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective.
Can't hear you.
I'm sure
You're
there'll
too
be
far
trials
away.
and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Where did you keep the violin at? Under his hat, I assume. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes? I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently. Huh? Let me guess, you want me to defend you in court? It caused such a commotion on the line, all the other trains had to wait at the stations. But really, we should never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything, and how it was all your fault. What? Hey? What? You are the worst. You are the fucking worst, dude. I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow, but not to worry, my dear fellow, according to Miss Susato, you love defending yourself in court. Huh? What? Huh? What? No? Hey? Nani? What? It's alright. I'm perfectly happy to testify. Yeah, that it was Sholmes' idea, not mine. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See? Oh my god, Sholmes. Damn you, Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes? Yes? I'm gonna throw you in the water now. A word if you don't mind. Oh, why, certainly, any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow. Oh yes, I love Runo's words. And I know just the one he'll use here. Is it, you bastard? There you go. Then, I really must say...
Objection!
Ah! Objection! Yo! Oh, I thought it was going for the high five then. Hey, what up, dude? Okay, well then. But I guess not. Fine. Just, I'll leave you hanging. Get it? Yeah. Whatever. So guys, that was fun. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at the Baker Street from all over London. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself, so I advertised them for sale with used by Mr. Sholmes to solve important cases. And the money I've earned, consulting detective works, pays a pittance by comparison. God damn it. Yeah, no, we're not going to continue defending ourselves. There is a second game though, and we will be playing it. I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement for some dry toast and insipid coffee. Wait, you give a 10-year-old coffee? Sholmes, we gotta talk. No wonder she's so fucking hyper. Ah, look, it's ouchie! Witness your testimony is riddled with contradictions. Oh, it's these guys. Exactly. Rarely do carbon coins hide in rare states themselves. Oh my god. Well, I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir. Yeah. I remember those names. There was yes sir, no sir, and I don't know, sir. Yeah. Those are the two names. Oh, it's Hosonaga! Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I had a low something blah blah blah, these are moving too fast. Last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. Oh no! Soseki! I've done nothing wrong at all! Rah! The man brings some kittens on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair! So wait, Hosanaga's still working on the crew on this ship? He's still working as crew on this ship? You must be joking me. Like, well, it was a cover to protect Kazuma, and now, oh well. Scientific investigation will be a gold standard for policing in a new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. You sound like the villain. Like a great clock. Wow. Yes. He sounds particularly supervillainous, and he looks it. I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. Good old Lord Strongheart. It's Gregson. The latest Rants magazine is out and I'm in it again. Whatever I say in that one line she wrote, now I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Hump. Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Glug, 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 glug. Her leadership puts me to shame. You put yourself to shame, Gregson, for being so damned underhanded. Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joni, my old jailbird. Oh god, is she in jail? Oh no! Oh dude, stop stirring your tea with your pipe. That's just disgusting. Fucking hell. What are we, cavemen? Oh no, Joni went to jail though. It was an accident, the stabbing thing. It was just an accident. The Soseki case, it was all just like, oh no, these guys. Oh shit. Oh. He's still hunting down small change in the gutter. And is being a better Bobby now. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna be sick. Jesus Christ. Those two were quite unbelievable. Gina! Looks like I'm gonna be doing the time here for a bit now. But Iris comes by every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. Nice. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kinda interesting when you get into them. I knew it. Next game, she's gonna be like working with them as their like their streetwise, you know, informant or something, or someone they need to, if they need to get into a place they're not supposed to go. Hey, look at this, Graydon. You renounced your upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. Oh. Oh no, the friggin' Skullkins. Oh no, the Skullkins are in here with him. The Three Muskawatsits. Milking the neighborhood for all it's worth. Oh, Jesus. These guys are going places, I can tell. They're gonna really ride through the criminal underworld. It's a super team up. Oh my god. The hell? Locked three weirdos together. Yeah. What could go wrong, right? Past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. I will assist your return to return you one day, but for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish. Life will treat you well. Aww. Well, that was good. These games are awesome. The story in this one was pretty good as well. I'm compelled now to know what happens in the second game. More credits? Oh god, it's going to be one of these like anime style outros where they have the little characters walking across the screen. Thus is their journey. Oh, he's going behind me. Sorry, Ryu, I'm blocking you, aren't I? Oh dear. Yes, the anime outro, it is! This is what they do, is they have their little character versions, like usually chibis, you know, walking along the bottom of the screen and everything going past. This is, lots of animes have this. Oh god, that baby. Jesus Christ, that baby. That was the lady that poisoned John Wilson. Yeah. There's Professor Mikotoba. So yeah. Anyway, do we want to skip this? Yes. Let me get back to the title screen. We could sit here and watch all of the titles, but you know. So, wow, that took a little longer than I thought. That's the problem with these games. This is why I stopped where I did last Saturday. When we were playing this on... No, it's not Saturday, it was Friday, wasn't it? It's Monday today. We stopped on Friday where we did because I knew there was going to be more hours. I mean, even the trial ended just over an hour ago, and then we've had another hour of outro. So they take a while. Oh, it's giving me a new title screen as well. Cool. So yeah, but that took a little longer than I thought. So... here's the thing, guys. I think we'll do the next one, Resolve, tomorrow. And we'll leave it here for the day.